Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show is this the Raw Ring Report. Coming up, Logan Paul, the Maverick, is live. What does Logan Paul have to say after winning his match at WrestleMania against AJ Styles? What's next for Logan Paul? Logan Paul going for bigger and better heights. We'll see when we come and talk about it. Bigger and better heights. But man, Becky Lynch, you can show the man Becky Lynch. Right quick. Becky Lynch will discuss her attack on the Women's Intercontinental Champion live Valkyria. Both women coming from winning the tag team championships at WrestleMania in the next night on Raw. Becky loses the tag team title with Lyra and start attacking her. We'll get that coming up as well. Also, too, speaking of Becky's husband, the new alliance that he formed, Seth Rollins, formed with Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker. We'll hear from their actions on what they did to Roman Reigns and CM Punk. We'll hear about that. Plus, women's action as well. NXT Women's Champion Stephanie McMahon is in action. She takes on Ivy Nile one-on-one in a non-title match, and former women's champion Rhea Ripley take on the former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. We'll get that coming up. As well as this, what's going on with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan? They're teasing their third man is coming. They likely gonna be doing a podcast or something. We'll get to it coming up as the Pro Wrestling Show starts right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show for the Raw Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Introduced here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and share. Tell a friend, call a friend. That subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. All right, let's get down and dirty right here, right now. Here on the Pro Wrestling Show with this former women's champion Rhea Ripley taking on Roxanne Perez. They were supposed to have a match ongoing until things just didn't go as planned. Roxanne Perez look like she's gonna be moving to Raw, or whenever this draft's gonna be starting. Roxanne Perez was trying to get the party started, but the party kind of ended right here, right there, for Roxanne Perez doing what she did. We can see Roxanne right here, Roxanne teaming up. If we can show it, we can show it right quick. Roxanne Perez. Well, Roxanne was in action right here. We saw that she won. Rhea Ripley came out there and got saved by Io Sky. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky likely going to be teaming up against Roxanne and Julia. Roxanne and Julia were almost a couple of the beginning of the year at each other's throats. Now they're teaming together. It's just kind of weird and strange that we see Rhea Ripley siding, joining forces with Io Sky, the women's champion. So it's likely there's going to be something going on with that. We can concur on that. But Roxanne Perez and Julia now signing forces. What's going on here? I think they're going to be probably moving to the main roster sooner rather than later. I can tell you that right now. All right, we get to this right here. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker explained their actions from last week. Last week, kicking off WrestleMania, the post-WrestleMania, and how we go moving forward. We know that Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are now forming an alliance. We don't know what this alliance is. Could it be the new Dangerous Alliance or what? But Bron Breakker in tow, they was trying to recruit Sami Zayn to come along in the group. Sami Zayn wasn't interested, and Sami Zayn pissed off the wrong people, including Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker, and they was talking about some deals like Sami was going to go to SmackDown to face the winner of the John Cena Randy Orton match, but those plans have changed. And Sami Zayn saying he's not going to bow down like that to Heyman and Rollins and all them. Even Paul Heyman tried prep talking about like the bloodline on what was going on. That still didn't get to Sami. Sami still wasn't listening. Sami still wanted to be his own man. I can respect that from Sami Zayn. If Sami Zayn wants to be his own man, let him be his own man. we'll get to a little bit later on in the show what Sami Zayn's real feelings and voice his opinion on Seth Rollins and what he thought. So we will see coming up here. Well, there's still some tension amongst the Judgment Day as Liv Morgan is still trying to cause a wedge between the Judgment Day after JD Madonna is back. We see that all this going on the Judgment Day, a lot going on with them, even including Dominic Mysterio, the new Intercontinental Champion, as well as Nick Aldis being the GM for the night. I don't know. AJ Styles might be Dominic's first opponent for the championship. It could be a possibility. So we could see that coming up, but AJ Styles probably want to crack at the championship. We'll see if AJ could get so down the road. We'll see coming up. Well, speaking of that, the man, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch coming out there to explain her actions. Becky Lynch had a lot to explain and to do on why she did what she did to Live Victoria. They won the tag team championships last week, and then the next day on Raw, dropped them back to the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Becky Lynch saying that Lyra Karen wants to be her Irish kicker until Lyra came out there and said that she looked up to Becky and was told that Becky would turn on. And Becky Lynch also revealed that she was the one behind attacking Bayley and knocking out Bayley, leaving Bayley out, that Bayley couldn't compete at WrestleMania against Lyra. So that's all the answer. We kind of knew. We told you on the Pro Wrestling Show what was going down, but Lyra is put her Intercontinental Championship on the line against Becky Lynch because she wants a match against Becky, and she knows that Becky won't take a match unless the championship's on the line. So it is official right here. It is official. Live Victoria to defend the Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch looking for her first secondary singles goal. Becky Lynch been a world champion. Now Becky Lynch going for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Can Becky do it? We will wait and see about that. Well, you look on here on the title of this video. You know, as I know, Pat McAfee addresses Gunther for last week's vicious attack. Pat McAfee got up aboard and talked about he's a loyal M Alpha. He's been loyal to the people, his family, his friends. He gives back to his community. Pat McAfee is loyal to Michael Cole. But Pat McAfee said he'll be, you know what, if something goes down to Cole. And Pat McAfee said he wants a match against Gunther, and he wants a match against Gunther ASAP. Well, the man that can make that match happen was the general manager of the night, Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis giving Pat McAfee what he wants. Nick Aldis saying that at Backlash, he will take on Gunther in a non-sanctioned match. So Nick Aldis versus Gunther one-on-one in a non-sanctioned match. We will see that match coming up, Nick Aldis versus Gunther. What a match that's going to be at Backlash. So we'll see the backlash between Pat McAfee getting his vengeance against Nick Aldis. We'll see that match coming up as well. So looking forward to seeing that, and we will see it one-on-one. So looking forward to seeing that. Rusev match guy. Rusev returning back to WWE in nearly 5 years. Rusev back. Rusev looking jacked through the gills. Rusev said that he's going to bring some devastation to whoever. Rusev will get that devastation next week. He'll take on Otis next week on Raw. Rusev versus Otis one-on-one. Looking forward to seeing that match one-on-one between these two behemoths, and what they like meat versus meat. We'll see that match coming up. Rusev versus Gunther. Rusev versus Otis. I want to see Rusev versus Gunther, but Rusev will get his first WWE match in nearly 5 years against Otis. Ain't nobody messing with you, Otis. So yeah, the Temptations or something. Well, Penta being threatened by Chad Gable. Penta believe like the rest of the luchadors that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano, which he is, but he don't want to admit it. But Chad Gable trying to play core and stuff on what's going on. Chad Gable got in the face of Penta about himself. Penta looking for yeah, one way or another. We'll see how that's gonna go down eventually. So we know next week Penta will be in action next week. Penta will be in action against JD Madonna. So Penta will take on JD Madonna next week on Raw. We're looking forward to seeing that on Raw next week. So looking forward to seeing that as well. Well, we told you beginning of the show right here. Logan Paul. Logan Paul looking he's live. Who is Logan Paul going to target? After winning his match at WrestleMania, Logan Paul cheated to beat some of the greats. Logan Paul starting his own WrestleMania moment. Logan Paul going straight to the top. Another WrestleMania winner. Logan Paul taking his aim at world champion Jay Uso right here. If you can see it right here, Jay Uso want a piece of Logan Paul. I don't know why they putting Logan Paul against Jay Uso, but it's gonna be funny. Jay Uso now want a crack at the world championship. He probably will get it at Backlash coming up. Jay Uso might be his first championship defense against Logan Paul, and we'll probably see that match whenever, however that's gonna turn out to be. But Logan Paul um, taking a cheap shot at the champ. Now the champion, Uso now gonna really be trying to defend his championship. And we'll see that championship coming to fruition next week here on Raw. Stephanie Vicur was in action as well. Stephanie Vicur was in action against um Ivy now. Stephanie Vicur won her match over Ivy. Stephanie Vicur becoming real popular across NXT and on Raw. So good for Stephanie. Stephanie doing her thing as well. So you saw Stephanie. Also too, A Town Down Under looking like they trying to get something going. I don't know why they trying what they trying to do. Trying to probably be in the tag team division. A Town Down Under. However that's gonna be. Well, we get to the moment, and then the Viking Raiders, they was in action as well. I think they defeated the New Day or somebody in tag team action as well. So the Viking Raiders did so tonight. So however that was going to be coming down for the Viking Raiders. We saw Penta against the Judgment Day and all them. Finn Balor and JD Madonna. Penta leading the charge as well. So Penta doing his best effort as well. Well, we get to the moment of truth right here. Seth Rollins told Sami Zayn by the end of the night, you need to give me an answer. Are you joining us? Or are you with us? Or are you against us? Well, Sami Zayn saying he's against him. And Sami Zayn paid for it real bad tonight. Sami Zayn paid for it when he went against Bron Breakker. One-on-one, Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker had their match tonight. Sami Zayn wearing average clothes. I don't know why Sami Zayn wearing average clothes, but Sami Zayn doing so tonight by getting defeated by Braun. Braun Breaker won his match. But at the end right here, Seth Rollins right here, curb stomp um Sami Zayn, put him out of his misery. After they was trying to plead with him, but Seth was trying to plead with him throughout the whole entire match. And you can tell Sami Zayn really wasn't going for that as well. So we saw how far that went tonight. When we going far a little bit later on down the road, we'll have to wait and see on how that go. But Sami Zayn really being put by his place. Will he sign or join? That's the only time we'll tell on that situation. So we're keeping a very close eye on that. All right. That is the Raw Ring Report. Let's move on to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we talk about this right here. The Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, and Eric Bischoff have something planned. They did an NWO style vignette or commercial, whatever video. They said a third man. Likely, people are speculating that it could be just a podcast. Hogan finally getting into the podcast game. Hulk Hogan now want to be a podcaster. Want to talk about the stories and stuff about his time as probably as WWE champion. Him turning heel in WCW with this NWO stuff. Who can forget the bash at the beach with Vince Russo? Hogan returning back to the WWE in 2002. Hogan going to TNA. Him and Bischoff can talk about the TNA days, taking over the company and helping the company out, and really didn't help the company. They went a lot. He is a controversial figure, but he has some interesting stories that he can talk about. His days with the Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, a host of others. Sid, you never know, but Hulk Hogan really is. He's controversial, but we'll see if they'll tap into that when him and Hope, recalling stories. I love to hear that podcast and stuff. So hey, know how that be and stuff. Also, too, we're hearing reports about SummerSlam. SummerSlam coming to the New York, New Jersey area, MetLife. They said the ticket prices are so outrageous and so ridiculous. Ticket prices going $4 for a seat. It's just ridiculous. Way too much. Where's some ticket prices? The economy is so weak right now. They don't think about that. Well, world champion Maven J Uso might have his problems with Logan Paul, but he got this big chain. Whoever got in that big chain, more power to you, my man. Maven J Uso rocking the chain, rocking the main event chain. So Maven J Uso doing his thing as well. We know next week on Raw, Russo make his long-awaited return when he takes on Otis and his Usos long-awaited match in nearly 5 years. Russo taking on Otis in a Behemoth versus Behemoth match. We'll see that next week on Raw, as well as Penta taking on JD Madonna next week. We'll see that match as well next week on Raw as well. So there's a lot going on Raw. Well, a lot of these matches and stuff like that. All right, we're gonna leave you with this right here. Seth Rollins putting an end to his friendship with Sami Zayn, along with Paul Heyman and Bron Breaker in his corner. Seth Rollins trying to build him a new dangerous alliance. Will this dangerous alliance become more and more vicious than ever before? Only time will tell. Thank you, everyone, for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling